Hello everybody, welcome back to another Expeditions Guide. Today we're taking a look at North of the Forest. This is an expedition in the Tatras. This expedition is unlocked after completing Deep Within, and there are no requirements for it, so we're going to be using the Loadstar. If you have any questions about my vehicle loadout, you will find that in the description below. On top of that, I also have with me a set of anchors and jack screws for emergency purposes. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing. So we are over here at the field operations base, and we're going to be making our way to the northeast through the forest, all the way up here, where we're going to explore the area to the north here. It is not an explore the area, there's actually just a waypoint we have to hit here. After that, we're going to head through this passageway with a special surprise there. We got some things we're going to have to move out of the way. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there. And then we're going to head up this way and explore the area north. After that, we're going to head down here to set up camp, which is going to unlock the second outpost in Owl Lake Ridge. So, that being said, let's begin and I'll show you how it's done. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and drive right on out of our outpost here. I'm just going to drive forward and head to the left here. And then from here we're going to make another left-hand turn and make our way through the forest. Got a little bit of water to navigate through here. Kind of got sunk down there a little bit, but that's alright. And from here we're going to go right around these trees. And we're just going to go right around these rocks here. Up and around the rocks. And then we're just going to follow this open area here. Kind of heading down. We're just going to avoid the big hills as much as we can. As we get through here, we're going to go through this open floodplain here. On the stump right in between here. And from here we're going to make our way up through the trees and follow this path up the hill to the left here. And we're just going to keep climbing here all the way up the hills on the side of the mountain here. And right over here, we're going to head down over these rocks. We're just going to be nice and slow going over the rocks here. We also kind of want to point to the left here. There we go. Up and over the rocks. Alright, and from here, we're just going to follow the cliff edge. Just right in between the cliff edge and the trees here. Right over here, this is going to be a tricky spot. There's a lot of rocks and stuff here. Just a lot of weird angles. So we're just going to slowly get on over here and point the truck up the hill. And once we get up the hill, we can just kind of follow this open area on the edge of this cliff here. And we're just going to squeeze right through these trees. Just squeeze right through there. And that's going to get us to a nice open area so we can kind of just cruise for a little bit here. There are a few bumps and things like that, like right there, that we have to worry about. A couple of stumps. But for the most part, it's pretty easy going here. This big wide open area here. Just Cruising right across this. It's going to cover some ground and get us to where our mission location is. Once we get over here, we're going to keep following this open area. It kind of branches off to the left here. I'm just going to keep following this around all these trees. And this is going to take us to one of our more difficult spots on this adventure here, which is going to be crossing the river. So we're just going to go ahead and follow the water. Go up and around all these rocks here. And right down here, we're going to go right across the water. It's not super deep here. We're just going to use the winch here just to help pull us a little bit against the current. That's just going to help us get across this strong current with the truck. Once we get up onto this center island, we're going to go right across and keep crossing the river. The second crossing isn't too bad. There's a nice shallow spot right over here that we can use to get across. And that should help keep us out of that nasty current. It didn't help much, but that's alright. There's plenty of winch points here that we can use to get across. So once we get across, we're going to follow our way right on up the hills here. We're just going to get right through the backside of the forest. Kind of right at the foot of this mountain. And from here, we're just going to go right around the rocks and through the trees. And right over here, this is going to take us down into a little crevice down the side of the mountain here. And we're just going to go ahead and get right on inside. And there is our first waypoint that we need to hit. So, with that waypoint, the next thing we need to do is keep going north. So we're going to head up over here, and that'll be our next objective. So this is kind of where we're at right now. So when we get up this path here, there are some rocks. You can see it is clearly blocked here. What's really cool about this, though, is we can actually use the winch to hook onto these rocks and move them out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and move these rocks out of the way. Kind of pull the rock, then it'll start rolling downhill. Just gonna keep pulling these rocks until we can get through here. Go ahead and grab the big one. It's one of the reasons I decided to choose the Loadstar for this one. It does have some extra power for pulling these big rocks. Let's get that one out of here. Okay, let's grab the really big one here. And with that moved out of the way, we can go ahead and squeeze right on through. Once we get through here, we're going to follow the edge of this little puddle here. We're just going to follow that up and around and through all these trees. And we're going to go ahead and just make our way right on up the side of this mountain here. Once we get past the trees, we're going to loop around to the left. Gonna knock over these trees on our way. And there's going to be a little crossing here with the rocks that we can use to get over the gap. Once we get across the gap, we're going to just go right behind the trees here and start making our way north. So right over here, we're going to go down the gap between these rocks, make our way down towards the bottom here. And then from here, we're going to make our way through the flooded swamp. Just kind of hovering around the edge of it here. That's going to take us up through these trees. We're just going to knock these trees over on our way through. And over here, we're just going to go right across the water. Right over here, we're going to head on down. Just going to go right on through this water here. And there is a stone road. We're going to follow that stone road all the way up to our waypoint, which is right here. So that's going to be a nice view of the temple. And from here, now we need to find a new place for camp. So we're going to go ahead and get turned around. And camp is going to be right up here at the top of this mountain. So we're going to just follow the path we used to get over this way. And then head up on top of the mountain, and that is going to be camp. So we're going to go ahead and just follow our way back. Alright, now that we are righted, let's go ahead and continue. That was a very strange bounce. I had not seen that one in a while, so there's something to watch out for there with the bumps in the terrain there. Probably going a little too fast, but hey, going fast is fun, you know? But anyway, we're going to go ahead and make our way right on through the trees here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go right on the edge of the water here. And right up the gap between the rocks here. Alright, with the truck righted once again, we're going to go ahead and just make our way right on up the hill here. And we're just going to follow this path right on up the mountain. That's going to spiral around to the left here. And that is going to be our waypoint right there. So we can go ahead and hit this waypoint. And that is going to unlock the new outpost. And also complete north of the forest. So, hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Let me know what you think. And until next time, I'll see you in the wilds. Bye-bye.